Russia's Vladimir Putin has secured a record post-Soviet landslide in the country's presidential election, winning just over 87% of the vote, with more than 99% of ballots counted, according to the country's Central Election Commission. The win put Putin on track to become Russia's longest-serving leader for more than 200 years. Let's get out to Keir Simmons, who joins us from Moscow. Keir, just run us through the latest election results.
Well, we've heard that number for President Putin, with almost all the ballots counted according to Russian officials, and then there was the turnout, and in many ways this was the aspect of the Kremlin what Russia watchers believe was most interested in. So the turnout around about 74%, but we are expecting to hear in the next hour officially what that turnout is. Now, even that is a record for President Putin's leadership, and of course those numbers will be met with skepticism by many Russia watchers, who will say that isn't it convenient that it is more in both cases than, for example, President Putin achieved in the 2018. There were many more questions through the weekend. There were protests, there were arson attacks on polling stations, there was dye poured into ballot boxes, there were arrests. Alexei Navalny, before he died in a Russian prison, called on people yesterday to go to the polling stations at midday and simply stand there, saying that wouldn't be illegal and that would be a protest. And yesterday, sure enough, around that time, we saw particularly young people start to stand in line outside of polling stations. So this election was not without opposition, despite the fact that the official opposition in the election was frankly an opposition in all but name. I had the opportunity to ask President Putin the first question from international journalists since he was elected at a news conference late last night, where he walked in with a spring in his step. Take a listen. Mr. President, journalist Evan Gershkovich spent this election in prison. Boris Nadezhdin, who opposes your war in Ukraine, wasn't allowed to stand against you. And Alexei Navalny died in one of your prisons during your campaign. Mr. President, is this what you call democracy?
Это жизнь.
No, for sure.